Have you ever wondered how one man could possess such strength that he could single-handedly defeat an army? Our journey begins in a time of strife. In the ancient land where the Israelites lived under the oppressive rule of the Philistines, but as it often happens in the darkest of times, a beacon of hope was about to be born. In the quiet town of Zorah lived a devout couple, Manoah and his wife. They were childless, and their hearts yearned for the pitter-patter of little feet around their humble dwelling. One day, a divine messenger visited the woman with a prophecy that would change their lives forever. An angel of the Lord appeared to her with a message that she would bear a son. But this wasn't going to be an ordinary child. The angel instructed her to refrain from consuming any wine or unclean food throughout her pregnancy. The child in her womb was to be a Nazirite dedicated to God from the womb. The Nazirite vow, a sacred pledge of devotion to God, entailed certain prohibitions, including the cutting of hair. This child was to observe this vow from birth. The promise that accompanied this prophecy was a beacon of hope, not just for this childless couple, but for the entire nation of Israel. This child would grow up to be a man of formidable strength, a man who would begin the deliverance of Israel from the hands of the Philistines, and so it happened. The woman bore a son, a child with a divine purpose. His parents named him Samson. He was not only a source of joy to his parents, but also a symbol of God's love and deliverance to his people. His story is a testament to the fact that when God has a plan for you, it begins even before you take your first breath. And thus, a child destined for greatness, Samson, was born. What would you do if you were bestowed with divine strength? Samson, a man of extraordinary stature, was no ordinary mortal. His strength was a divine gift, a symbol of God's presence in his life. One day, on his journey to Timnath, he faced a roaring lion. It was a life-or-death encounter, a moment of fear and adrenaline, but Samson, imbued with God-given might, tore the lion apart as one would split a young goat. A feat of raw power, a testament to his divine strength, Samson conquered the beast with his bare hands. In the midst of this strength, Samson was also a man of deep passion. His heart was captivated by a Philistine woman, a love that was as potent as his strength. Despite the Philistines being enemies of the Israelites, Samson's affection for her was unwavering. He desired her as his wife, and so it was. The wedding feast was a grand affair filled with merriment and laughter, but Samson, the man of strength and riddles, decided to challenge the Philistines. He spun a riddle born out of his encounter with the lion, a secret only he knew. Out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet, he declared. The riddle was a secret reflection of his strength, a testament to his divine might. The Philistines, intrigued and perplexed, were unable to decipher Samson's riddle. It was a mystery, a secret locked away in the heart of Samson, a secret as profound as his strength. This event marked the beginning of Samson's tumultuous relationship with the Philistines, a relationship that would test his strength, his faith, and his love. But little did Samson know his strength was both a blessing and a curse. Can you imagine the fury of a man who has been wronged, fueled by divine strength? In the unfolding saga of Samson, we find him in a state of bitter resentment. The woman he loved, his wife, was given without his consent to another man. The pain of this betrayal, the sting of this injustice, sparked a fire within Samson, a fire that would soon spread across the Philistine fields. Let us delve into this tale of a heart scorned. Samson, in his displeasure, was not one to sit idly by. No, he chose to respond in a way that would sear his anger into the very soil of the Philistines. He captured 300 foxes and, tying their tails together, attached a torch to each pair. With a divine strength guiding his actions, he then released these foxes into the standing grain of the Philistines, setting their fields, vineyards, and olive groves ablaze. This act was more than just a symbol of his rage, but a declaration of war, a challenge thrown at the feet of the Philistines. Samson was not just a man, he was a force, an embodiment of divine retribution, but his vengeance did not end there. Samson's strength bestowed upon him by the Almighty was put to the test when he was confronted by 1,000 Philistine men. Armed with nothing more than a donkey's jawbone, Samson stood firm. In a display of power that defies human understanding, he defeated them all. Every swing of that humble weapon, every fallen enemy, was a testament to his divine fury. What lessons can we glean from this chapter of Samson's life? Perhaps it is that righteous anger, when guided by divine will, can yield unimaginable power, or maybe that even in the face of overwhelming odds, one man, fueled by the strength of God, can triumph. Samson's fury knew no bounds, and yet he was not invincible. As we continue on this journey, let us remember that while Samson was a man of great strength and power, he was still a man, vulnerable to the same weaknesses that we all share. Could love be the downfall of the strongest man? Now, this is where our story takes a dramatic turn. Samson, the man of unparalleled strength, meets Delilah. He's smitten, head over heels in love with her. But unbeknownst to him, Delilah harbors a secret, a pact with the Philistines. They've promised her a hefty bounty, 1,100 pieces of silver to be exact, if she can uncover the secret behind Samson's strength. Love, they say, makes us vulnerable, and Samson was no different. He confided in Delilah, sharing with her the source of his strength, his uncut hair, a symbol of his vow to God. But Delilah, with her loyalty pledged elsewhere, saw this as her chance. While Samson slept, she had his hair shorn off, betraying her lover for silver coins. Imagine Samson's shock and despair when he awoke, bereft of his strength. His hair, his covenant with God, was gone, severed while he slept. The Philistines seized the opportunity and captured Samson, finally having their revenge on the man who had caused them so much trouble. The lesson here is one of trust and betrayal. Samson, despite his physical strength, was brought down not by a mighty army, but by a single act of treachery from the woman he loved. It's a poignant reminder that our greatest strengths can sometimes be our greatest weaknesses, and that the people closest to us have the power to hurt us the most. But let's not forget about Delilah either. Her story serves as a warning about the dangers of greed and disloyalty. She chose silver over love, betrayal over honesty, and in doing so, she forever tarnished her own name. In the hands of his enemies, Samson was reduced to a mere shadow of his former self. His strength was gone, his eyes were gouged out, and he was made to grind at the mill in the prison. But little did they know, Samson's story was far from over. Can a fallen hero rise again? This question echoes through the annals of time, and the story of Samson provides us with a profound answer. After a life of victories and failures, Samson, the once invincible hero, found himself at his lowest point. His eyes, the windows to his soul, were gouged out, leaving him in perpetual darkness. The mighty warrior, reduced to a prisoner, was forced to grind grain in the Philistine prison, an unthinkable fate for a man who had once been a beacon of hope for his people. Yet within this darkness, something stirred in Samson's heart. He began to perceive his own failures, his pride, his recklessness, and his neglect of the divine gift that had been bestowed upon him. His physical blindness led to a spiritual awakening as he realized the true nature of his strength. In this state of enlightenment, Samson turned to God, the source of his strength, with a heartfelt prayer. He pleaded for his strength to be restored one last time, not for personal vengeance, not for glory, but to fulfill his divine purpose. And God, in his infinite mercy, heard Samson's prayer. In his final act, Samson was granted the strength to bring down the pillars of the Philistine temple. As the temple collapsed, Samson took more Philistine lives in his death than he had in his entire life, fulfilling his divine mission in a moment of ultimate sacrifice. This was not just the end of Samson's earthly journey, but also his redemption. His story serves as a powerful reminder that our true strength does not lie in our physical abilities, but in our faith in God. It teaches us that even in our darkest moments, when we feel lost and powerless, we can find strength in humility, repentance, and unwavering faith. And so, Samson, the man of strength, met his end, teaching us that true strength lies not in our physical abilities, but in our faith in God.